Welcome to the Successful Nurse Coach podcast. On this podcast, Laura
and Shelby, both board-certified nurse coaches, show you how to make as much money as you want in private practice as a nurse coach.
Hi guys, welcome to the Successful Nurse Coach podcast. It's Laura today doing a solo episode, and I'm really surprised that we haven't done something like this before. It's so interesting when you're teaching and mentoring in a body of work. You're constantly reinventing ways to be better at the knowledge transfer that you have. And on one of our master's calls this week, I went through this process where I showed one of our year 2 peeps who just went full-time in her business, yay, how to spend her time. And so we really broke it down into short game, medium game, and long game. And the way that I look at this is that at different stages in your business, you're going to be focusing on different things. But as a newbie, like a brand new nurse coach, brand new entrepreneur, you're watching everybody online do all these things, and your brain says, well, you got to do what they do because they're successful, so I have to copy what they do. And it would be like, I always love giving you guys analogies, but it would be like going to a gymnastics gym, watching somebody, an advanced gymnast, do a floor routine, and then thinking that that's where you'd start. Instead of starting with learning how to do a cartwheel, learning how to position your hands, learning how to point your toe, right? There are foundational pieces that these advanced looking practices have been built upon, but you don't see them because they're not as visible. So we really have this big blind spot if we're not mentored appropriately. And so then we play this business game, and we play the medium game and long game, and then we say to our coaches or to ourselves, oh, this isn't working. I'm a bad coach. This doesn't work, because you're playing the wrong game at the wrong time. So this is an amazing strategy call. This would be a fantastic time to get a piece of paper and a pen. We will have some notes breaking this down. This will also be added to our preceptorship course. I think that the way that this is explained will be really, really helpful. It'll also show you possibly where you've wasted time, and or give you a reason why what you have already done hasn't worked. Okay. So I want to talk about short game. Short game is things that you do in your business that will likely create a paid client from 0 to 30 days. So this is really the most important skill set. So short game is the most important part of the game that you can ever master. And why? Because if you can master short game, if you've mastered the ability to create a paid client in 0 to 30 days repeatedly and confidently, you're never going to be worried about money. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. Even if you had to completely stop your business and restart 6 months later, if you've mastered short game, you know what to do, and you can get predictable return on investment, ROI, in 0 to 30 days if you do it. It is just deciding to become an expert at short game. And short game is not super sexy. It's not what we actually see online. It's not what we think it actually is. But it's the most necessary part of your game in year 1. Now, we mentor people in year 1, year 2, and year 3 at this point. And I'm going to break down what I see is good percentages and ways to kind of monitor where you should be spending your time and what parts of the game. So what is short game? Short game is the number 1 priority of year 1. And it is direct messages and invites into powerful conversations or into consults or into discovery calls, whatever you call them. It is reviewing your client tracker for any past potential clients to keep following up with. There is 70% of the clients that you sign will be people that were originally no's, not interested, that you keep following up with. And in our course, we give you a sample tracker, but essentially what it is, it's every potential lead or person that you've talked to about coaching. It tracks the connection phase, the invite phase, the first powerful conversation you have, And then it's a way to follow up and to kind of assign follow-up dates. Like if you did a proposal to somebody and they were like, I'm just going through a really big job transition right now. It just doesn't feel like the right time, but I'm really interested. I really want to work on this thing that we talked about. Can you follow back up with me in the fall? This is the place where you'd put that date and set a reminder so that you don't miss that date, so that you do that follow-up and that nurturing. And perhaps you're even checking in before that date and adding value and asking them how they're doing. And is there anything that they need support with? And to update you on what's happening, to stay relevant to them, stay connected to them. This is so important. It's so important. It's so important. If 70% of your income relies on follow-up, make follow-up one of the most important parts of your business, a way to plan it, to track it, to execute it, and to chart it. Then you can be asking family and friends for referrals. Don't underestimate how much people want to support you in your new business. Don't underestimate how if you directly ask people to support you and you tell them how you would like them to support you, how many people will. A lot of times it kind of reminds me of like being in a new relationship and you're not getting a need met, but you just never tell them because you're like, oh, well, they should just know. Or you could say to family and friends, like, if you really want to support me, do you want me to tell you exactly how? What would be the best way? And say to them, is there anybody you can think of to gift 2 free sessions to? Do you have an email list? Do you have a group chat? Is there any place where I can give you this link so that people you're gifting them 2 free calls with me? That is such a good short game strategy. It's like such a low amount of time and energy for a possible so much return on investment of your energy and time. And then going belly to belly to businesses and inviting people into powerful conversations. This is kind of like the in-person version of directly inviting people to experience your coaching. The short game version of this is not going to businesses and seeing if you can collaborate, because if you haven't had 10 paid clients, you really don't have any business going and trying to collaborate with established businesses. Like you haven't paid your dues yet. And then really what you're going is you're asking for energy in return, but you really have nothing to offer. So the short game version of this is going business to business, asking to talk to the owner and saying something like this, like, hey, I'm Laura. I'm new to the town, or I just opened my practice here. And instead of spending a bunch of money on ads, I decided to go to other business owners and offer you 2 hours of my coaching services. And I'm kind of going to build my whole practice on word of mouth and referral instead of spending a bunch of money on ads. And what will happen is the business owner understands what you're doing, appreciates why you're there and why you're doing it, doesn't feel like you're doing it because you're trying to necessarily sell to them. And there's an inherent desire for a lot of them to support you because they've all been there. I created so many clients this way, you guys. So then you do these 2 sessions, you're blow their socks off. Some of them will hire you because of the experience you give them. And others will be so stoked on the service that they received that they'll just start talking about you to people. I probably made $20,000 to $30,000 with this. And this was all made off of 1 or 2 days of literally driving in my car, getting dressed up nice and going and talking to people. And it was, once you've had a couple like positive experiences doing this, you realize people really want to help you. And I had so much confidence that spending 2 hours with me would be beneficial that I just didn't feel bad about it. Even if they didn't hire me, I knew that me deeply listening to them for 2 hours as a business owner, asking them what's the heaviest thing that they carry, what are some personal and professional goals that they're working on. Like, it's so cool to get space held for you as an entrepreneur. And these people tend to already be connected to the small businesses in your area, especially if they're established. A lot of times they'll say, you should come do this, or you should come do this. We've got this networking group where you can come do this. And they'll get you plugged in and you're leading with service. Okay. The next, which we don't talk about a lot, but it's another approach, a short game approach, is offering one-off sessions for a small fee or donation only sessions for a small fee. I did intuitive readings. I did 30 intuitive readings, and then asked for a suggested donation of between $1 and $250. And so I made money. People booked it because it was something they're really interested in. It's a skill I already had that I was really confident in using. And it led to coaching, because even an intuitive session is essentially using your intuition to guide a conversation to create some insight around somebody's life. But the implementation of that intuition is coaching. Now, for those who have a more functional medicine approach to practice, offering like a one-off health blueprint session as your first like front end offer instead of free coaching calls is just a different approach. You could also do a 4-week challenge, or you could do like a 4-hour mini retreat on a Saturday and charge a certain amount of money for it. But essentially you're not trying to make all your money from this. You're trying to sell something at such a low price that's really interesting that people just kind of, they just purchase it to spend time with you. And it'll take the place of your free, powerful conversation one. And for the right people, you'll invite into a second conversation for free. The 4-week thing, you could do like a 4-week group coaching program for like $299 for moms who want to lose weight before the summer, or for women who want to totally change the way that they speak to themselves in their brain. That wasn't a very good one. But for women who want to change their internal dialogue, you could do a 4-week boot camp on confidence. You could do a 4-week boot camp on incorporating gratitude and mindful living. There's like infinite ways that you can do this. And this can really create a little bit of money. Like there's immediate ROI in 0 to 30 days, but it also serves as a potential lead into your one-on-one or your longer group coaching packages. So that's really what short game is. Short game is going to have this really direct approach, and it requires confidence. It requires you to be unapologetic. It requires you to be kind of transparent. And this is why a lot of people skip it or don't want to do it. They want to do long game stuff and medium game stuff and then twiddle their thumbs and hope that people come knocking. And it just doesn't work that way. And you'll never be able to pay your bills with coaching if you're always waiting for people to come to you. At some point, there's a skill set that if you build it, that even if it's a lot of work or it's not your favorite thing to do, you can if you needed to. It's just something that no one can take away from you. What happens is you get really good at talking to people. You get really good at talking about what you do. You get really good at coaching, and you get a lot more confidence. You also get a lot of chances to propose, which make you better at sales. Because medium game and long game, if you're not good at sales, they don't work. So the goal first year is to really get good at sales through repetition. And you might as well get paid while you're doing this. And that's what short game provides for you. So I'm going to give you this in a list again of kind of what I have. This is the making a post on Facebook, announcing your practice. You get a bunch of loves and likes. This is reaching out to everybody and directly inviting them into a coaching call because you're going to build your practice through word of mouth and referral. This is following up with that in a methodical way, putting it on your tracker so you don't forget. Asking family and friends for referrals directly, telling them exactly what you'd like them to do, asking them questions to even get them thinking about ways they can. Lots of people have email lists. Lots of people have groups of friends in chats. And you're basically providing them with a link or something that is a gift from them to their friends and family, which is your free coaching. So they're supporting you by giving away something for free. It's like a win-win. If you see it that way, a lot of you will be like, well, I don't want to bother them and they probably don't want to do it. And that feels weird. And that's one way that you can keep thinking about it, or you can change the way you think about it and really look at it for what it is. And it's a way for people to support you directly and for people to give something that's valuable to people that they like, and appreciate. And if they don't want to do that, say, well, if you don't want to do it before you have time with me, I get it. Why don't we spend a couple hours first? If you haven't coached them already. This is great. Every pro bono client you had in the collective or you had in Inca or your certification program, and we'll be teaching this in Nurse Life Coach Academy if private practice is the direction you want to go. But that list of pro bono clients, at some point you want to ask them, hey, when I'm ready, do you want me to circle back around to you when I'm taking clients professionally? Opt in, get permission, and then ask them because they've experienced your coaching. They've already had 5 to 7 hours of your time. And then you can ask them for the referrals and tell them exactly a way that they can do it and give them links and things they can use. There's a little tech component here. It's worth figuring out. Okay. This is going belly to belly to other business owners, approaching it in the way that I said. And doing donation only or low cost one-off sessions as a way to earn money in the short term that also exposes you to lots of people who might not even say yes to your free coaching. Next is the short challenge or the short group container or the short little retreat, but it's a short, lower price front end offer that's meant to lead into potential invites to your other offers. Okay, that is short game. So how often should we play it? What percentage of our time should we be working on it? Until you have a full practice, 80% of your energy and time should be spent on short game. And it's not like it takes a whole lot of time to do. It just takes a lot of emotional, I think, bandwidth to do. So I would rather you do a lot of mindset work and then short bursts of short game than work on your business. I got air quotes here. Then work on your business doing medium game and long game. Because if you don't get any ROI, if there's no actual paying clients, your brain very quickly will have you believe that everything that you do doesn't work. And so it's not that medium game and long game don't work. Medium and long game don't work right now. So you always need to be having some short game at play here. So let's say you master your short game. You've been doing it 80% of the time. Other 20% you've been working on some medium stuff and some long stuff, probably medium stuff first. And you get full. Once you're full, you can decide, you can kind of look at how often your clients are going to be ending. You can get a feel for the flow of your business. A lot of times you'll have several clients drop off at the same time, but it's not for 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time. So then you can find these like natural breaks where you aren't working short game. This is a fantastic time to take a breather if you need it, because short game can feel some type of way for a lot of our nervous systems. Or another great time that you can begin to work on medium game things for a little bit until you start to see things drop off. And then you go back to some short game activities, because your business, if we think of your business like a garden, not everything sprouts at the same time. But if you want to eat, you have to have some things sprouting regularly. Yes. It's really nice when you have extra time and you plant a bunch of things that sprout on their own, seemingly unrelated, 4 to 6 months down the line, or even a year or year and a half down the line. It's a really great feeling because it feels like you can kind of do introverted work that results in clients desiring to work with you. This is where you start to become the lighthouse. So short game is very much like a tugboat. And medium game and long game, primarily, are kind of more lighthouse. It's more of the attraction piece. All the skills you build with short game are what make you really good at being able to harvest your medium game and long game. Now, I'm talking in terms of clients, getting clients and creating clients from a total entrepreneurial perspective. I am not, at this episode is not in the ooey gooey heart-centered place. This is really a strategic, neutral approach that works. And that doesn't mean that in these interactions that we are strategic and have our business hats on. In these interactions, we pull that off and we step into our heart-centered, healing, service-based selves. So we're doing both at the same time. But I can appreciate that in the early stages, when I get too deep in the weeds of strategy like this with a coach, that it would feel a little bit sterile and like it didn't resonate with me, because I was a deep healer that just wanted to ease suffering in the world. So if you're having a little bit of that thought, it's totally normal. And because we're kind of talking to the entrepreneurial business owner part of you, not the amazing, transformational, fantastic life and wellness coach that you are. Okay. So when your practice is not full, you should only be spending 20 to 30% of your admin and work time in your business on medium game and long game. So I'm going to kind of tell you what medium game is next. Medium game is an expected ROI, or return of time investment, of 30 to 120 days. This is 1 month to 4 months. And this is hosting a monthly workshop. If you have been working in your business for more than 3 months and haven't hosted a workshop of your own, I highly recommend it, just for the skill and the confidence that it'll give you. Because in some ways, this can fit into short game category. I'm saying it's medium game because it can sometimes be a slower process. So if you host monthly workshops, you are bringing people into your world. You're getting their emails. They're getting to see you as a leader and as a coach. And you're warming people up that might have otherwise don't know you. Workshops are great for converting cold people into warm people, because we don't recommend short game, like the really direct things being done with cold people. I have been blocking appointment setters 5 days a week with my profile, mostly because a lot of you guys comment and follow me, and I think that they're watching all of you comment and follow me, and then they're going to start commenting and following you and doing the same thing. But these cold appointment setters will go into your comment section and be like, I sent you a DM, or can we chat? And then they'll go into the weird part of your inbox because they don't friend request you. And then it's always some copied and pasted thing that says, hey, do you want 10 leads delivered to you, 10 high paid leads delivered to you without any cold calls, XYZ, whatever their pitch is? And I just block them. We don't ever want to do that as the coach. It's sleazy. It makes you feel weird, because it is weird. I know when it happens to you guys, you're so afraid you're going to end up in that category. So I want you to know that short game is to be played with your warm audience, which is why 20 to 30% of your time should be spent expanding your warm audience. And workshops are such a great way to do this. Okay. So hosting your own workshop, in our trainings, we have so many examples. We teach you how to do a workshop. In the Nurse Life Coach Academy, I have like 50 to 60 tools, and every tool could be elaborated on to create a 2-hour workshop. It's so cool. Like, if you don't know what you need to do, you don't have to create an original idea. In fact, I recommend you don't have an original idea. Try something that's already tried and true, that you can get some instruction around or some frameworks, and just deliver it. Medium game is teaching meditation at yoga studios. It's doing presentations with other providers. This is where that more going belly to belly to collaborate is kind of appropriate, because you're going to add value to an existing business and you have enough confidence and short game skills that it makes sense to do that. You don't want to be going and seeing if you can refer back and forth to providers when you haven't had any paid clients. It's just not an appropriate next step for you. And by the way, I did this, so I can speak to it from personal experiences. I went to my gym, which is the biggest gym in the city that I went to. It was a racket club with pools. It was like the hoity-toity club of my small town. And the owner was a private owner, and he had an office, and I made a flyer, and I kind of stalked him and went to his office and talked to him and dropped it off. And I was so not confident, did not have the experience, didn't know how to do it, that he didn't take me seriously at all. I kind of blew it because it would have been a really great place to do workshops at, but I needed to have like 6 to 8 months of experience and knowing, talking about the problem that I solve, having 10 paid clients, like that would have been more helpful. So we don't want to go blow every single possible connection right out of certification when we're on a pink cloud. We want to just wait on those. We want to master our short game first. We want to have some proof that we actually have a service that we sell successfully before we go do this next part in the medium game. And that is collaborating and offering things for and with other business owners in your community. I want to make that distinction between that and going in your community and offering people conversations. There's two different actions. The second one, the medium game, is more comfortable, and that's why you guys want to do it first, and that's why I wanted to do it first. Had I had a lot of confidence and gone in directly, invited him into a powerful conversation and served him powerfully, it's highly likely I would have had a couple $100,000 practice associated with my neighborhood gym. And that would be very likely. I could do that now with the skill sets that I have. Or at least start the process and nurture it until they said yes. Another medium game is being a guest presenter at other people's retreats or events, getting booths at wellness fairs. People, I've heard this so many times. People will go to wellness fairs, they'll have their sign-up list, and they a week later, if they haven't made $10,000, they're like, nothing happened. I went to this booth, I did my booth, and nothing happened. It's like, we don't expect anything to happen. All that we expect is that possibly 10 to 30 new people, maybe more, would be on your email list and would now be warm to you, because the booth is really fulfilling that first connection. And from first connection to possible client, it can take longer, and it should take longer because they have no idea who you are. They need to get to know you. This is where I think networking groups can be medium game or long game. I'm going to put it in medium game, but like BNI, local networking groups, if you belong to the local like Rotary Club or just different local networking groups or Toastmasters, or perhaps networking at your church or at your kids' school or any other kids' sports. But like there's these other places that you can go be a part of. And we're not necessarily trying to create clients when we go there. We're creating awareness of who we are. We're like starting that lighthouse process of creating people that know, like, and trust us, that know what it is that we do, setting ourselves up for referrals. Hosting your own retreat is usually not a big moneymaker. Retreats in and of themselves, if you can host a retreat and break even, that's a success. It really, really is. So if you did like a 4-hour day retreat, or if you really wanted to do like a 3-day event, it's likely you're not going to make a bunch of money on it, and it's a whole lot of work. But the people that go to your event will now see you as a leader. And so the potential for them to hire you for your other offers and services goes up exponentially. It's a great opportunity to create that authority, relevancy, and intimacy with them. And then email marketing. We're leaning heavier into email marketing for multiple reasons. We might as well collect emails and start building our email list in the beginning stages of our business, not because we think you're going to send an email and create a client. It just doesn't work like that. It is another avenue for you to write one thing and have it delivered to many people over time. So your email list is kind of like this appreciating asset in your business. And we don't want to just constantly be marketing to. We want to write letters to. We want to connect with them. So email marketing is best done writing 2 to 3 emails per week. You could start off with just 1 per week, like a newsletter. And then every once in a while, when you have an event or you have a new group or you have a new thing that you're doing, you market. So that is medium game. Email marketing is medium game. I bought coaching from a coach that a lot of you guys know after reading like her 29th email. It was a Friday night, and I was like, I want to buy her program and just see if there's anything in her teachings that I don't already know. I just did this with another coach that I hired to help me hire a house manager. It's slow. It's not the way that you're not gonna send a few emails and have people booking calls with you. And to expect that, it's just not an appropriate expectation. I can give you more information on email marketing. We have a workshop on it. And this is obviously something that isn't necessarily the number one priority of year one. Starts to become more important in year two. But you can work on medium game just by connecting, getting emails, and then putting all those emails on a list and sending out one email per week. You can also content repurpose. You can send out an email per week and also post that same email in a post form to all your socials, so that when you're doing content creation, it's just going to all the places. It doesn't have to be, every piece of content that you do doesn't have to be unique in every single place. Lots of people do this. If you already have a coaching program, you probably already have a lot of ideas for content. And then long game. So one of the requirements for most of the things in long game is that you have a very well-defined targeted niche or target market that is tested. And what I mean by that is that you've served them professionally well and you like it. This is when you've had 20 paying clients and there's like this one thread that connects them all. You can confidently say that you know how to solve this problem. That would be part of your targeted market. It can be when you're running groups. It's like where you find yourself as like your first place that you're going to plant your flag and really call yourself whatever kind of coach that you are, and kind of know what problem you solve, who you help, how you help them, and exactly when you're going to help them, i.e. launches to your products and your services. So long game is 4 months to 2 years. It's a long game. It is preceded by a very well-defined niche or targeted marketing plan. This is email marketing. This is a podcast. This is a fantastic website with sales pages and funnels. This is hosting your own larger retreat. This would be a large social media presence, YouTube or TikTok channel. This is where you start to be seen as more of a thought leader. And what's interesting is that we want to rush and get to this stage early, because the expert part of our nurse brain's like, well, I really want to be like seen as this really successful coach. And to be seen like that, I have to have XYZ like everybody else. But it's just not necessary. It's not something you have to have success. These long game strategies are the results of success. So I want to make that distinction. Long game strategies that work are the result of success. They are not the cause of success. Now, in your early coaching days, you will get marketed to by Instagram coaches who are going to teach you how to do a successful 6-figure launch in 6 easy steps over a 6-week process. And if you haven't had 10 paid clients, it's just such a waste of energy and time, because you're being taught something that is not relevant to you yet, right? Or you'll have someone saying, I'm a done for you funnel with Facebook ads. That is that's more of a long game thing. And it breaks my heart when we spend money to be taught medium game and long game, and we're not asked by the person who's selling to us if we've mastered our short game. Now, like I said, short game's the least sexy. It's hard to market. It's so much easier to market around long game and medium game, because it's more exciting to the ego. And I think this is where the coaching industry kind of can get a bad rap, because I think that we see it's so noisy and difficult to discern when you're new of what you should be doing, what you should be spending time on, and what you should be spending money on. And these marketers know what your fears are, and then they're just pointing at those fears, and you're probably on their email list, and then they're email marketing to you, and you're getting 2 to 3 emails about your pain points and your fears. And for those of you on our email list, I suggest going and looking and reading them all and kind of seeing what we're doing in those. A lot of time we're connecting with you. A lot of time we're adding value. A lot of time we're marketing to you about our programs. And our programs teach short game. We hold your feet to the fire. We teach you short game because we believe that it's really important. And then we also give you some introductions to medium game and long game at the appropriate time with an appropriate mentor that can watch your progress, and for colleagues where you can see their progress. So our program, Make the Leap, it is short game. There is no medium game, long game mentioned. We will not talk about it. We will not even consider it because it's totally inappropriate. It's like trying to teach calculus to somebody who doesn't know their times tables. We're teaching you your times tables in a way that you're going to have so many repetitions that you're going to know them by heart, so that when you graduate to medium game or into the next level, that it is easy, that it is successful, that you aren't banging your head against the wall and spending time and money without results. Medium game and long game are so fun, guys. They're so fun. They're more creative. It's like really, really important. So I think sometimes people think that our method is that we don't believe that those things are important. They're so important, and you're going to get there. And the fastest way to get there is to master your short game. All right, this is going to go in our course. For those of you who have our course and are listening, feel free to check in with your lead mentors and find out how you can kind of divide up your time and what short game activities you're going to commit to, what medium game activities you're going to commit to 20 to 30% of the time, and how you're going to be held accountable that you don't go off track and spend time on things that aren't the next best way to spend your time. If this had been taught to me in a way that I could have understood in my first 3 years of business, it would have been so helpful. And so there's an opportunity here for you guys listening to this to make this your mantra, that I am going to be the best short game coach I can be before I move on to medium game and long game. That the most important thing that I do is to coach hours, to be direct, to trust the process. And I like the phrase, and not go and try to get cute. We always try to go get cute. I did it so many times. It's like we go off track. We're like, I'm going to work on my business. You know what? Today I'm going to create a freebie. And then you spend 8 hours in Canva creating a freebie, but then you don't know who's going to take the freebie. You don't know what to do after people get the freebie. You have no plan to follow up with people after they get the freebie. And it's so frustrating, right? And you feel like you're just not making any progress. And I'm here to tell you that there will come a time where making an amazing freebie is going to be the next best thing in your business. And you're going to be so prepared to reap the rewards of whatever that activity is that you desire to do. Podcasts, YouTube, whatever you're speaking on stages. I probably should have put that in there. It's a fantastic, speaking on stages could be short game. Speaking on stages has a possibility, depending on the follow-up, to be all parts of the game. And if that's going to be your path forward, I highly recommend going for it early. I would love for you to email me and tell me what you think. Do you feel like I yelled at you? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like you have some clarity? Or do you have more questions? And if you have any questions, just come ask them in the Facebook group. I'm happy to help. And have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya.